I'm running the Jack and Jill Marathon 2023 in, well, less than 24 hours. And in this video, I'm going to try and make some predictions. In short, I've no idea how the marathon's going to go. I arrived in Seattle. Everything has gone perfectly in the travel. I've prepared as well as I could. I had a lower back injury. I lost 6 weeks of training. My Garmin says that originally when I was on a training schedule, it said I would target 3:45 is what it said I would do the marathon in. And as of today, it's saying 4 hours 15. And it's never all that accurate. I did 3:43 in the last marathon, but with the loss of training, I really don't know. I got off the plane after a 9-hour flight from Dublin, and the following day I was in agony. I could walk, but I was in extreme pain, and I thought this ain't gonna work. But bit by bit, it's been fine. If I'm sitting in the car for an extended period, more than half an hour, it gets incredibly painful, but I can sleep okay, and thankfully I can run okay. I ran the marathon is beautiful. I'm in Washington State, and it drops over 2,000 feet, maybe 2,500 feet over the length of the marathon. It should be fantastic. It starts by running into a tunnel. Now, I will point out, I'm going to make a quick video about how I got on, hopefully tomorrow, maybe next day, and then a more extended video about the marathon itself, the travel, all that kind of stuff. But just this bit is just about how I think I will get on rather than the marathon itself. But it's about a 2,500 foot drop over the course of the marathon. It starts, you run into a tunnel. It's beautiful. I ran it yesterday there and back. I just wanted to see what it'd be like. I wanted to test my head torch. I wanted to test a few other bits and pieces, some GPSs or all that sort of stuff. I managed to do that. The run, I felt fantastic on the run. How I'm going to feel when it was only 8K or something, 6 to 8K. How I'm going to feel when it's 42 point whatever kilometers is another thing. It's slightly downhill. The tunnel, if anyone is watching this and is going to run this marathon in the wee small hours of tomorrow morning, stick to the left of the tunnel as you go through. It is pitted in parts. There's water comes down from the ceiling, and there's a couple of large not ponds, but large puddles. If you go into those, you will have a very wet foot for the rest of the marathon, and that wouldn't be ideal. I imagine there's about 1,000 people in the race. I think there's be a lot of jockeying for position. And so I'm trying to stay out of that. I imagine in the tunnel, because I think you hit the tunnel about 400 meters after the start. There could be, where people at the start, there's all that kind of stuff. I'm going to try and stay as far out of that as possible. Yesterday, there was somebody running or walking in the tunnel without a head torch, which is what I would like to do, but I think we have to wear a head torch. So I'm going to wear the head torch, then you get out, you give it to somebody. And when you get out of the tunnel, the view is beautiful. It's very cold in the tunnel. It's funny, it's windy now. The camera's probably wobbling, but yeah, when you approach the tunnel, even on a very warm morning, you can feel cold air coming out of it. It is. I got in. It felt a bit like Scooby-Doo. I mean, I kept waiting for some guy would pull off some head and we'd be down the tunnel. But anyway, it was fine. When you get in, I could see this tiny little light. I thought it was somebody with a headlamp, but actually it turned out to be literally the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's incredibly beautiful. I can't wait to get going. After months I've had this back pain since the start of May, and for months wondering whether I'd be able to do the marathon. There's really only one way to find out. I'm going to bring a couple of cameras. I was going to wear a pair of Soar running shorts, but the day after I made a video about what I was going to wear, On Running announced a new trail short, and I'm going to wear that because it'll be a lot easier to store the phone and a few other things that I need to bring. And I do want to take some film as I go along. Maybe that means stopping, I'm not sure. I might bring an Insta360 on the hat, various different things. It is interesting running with a headlamp and a cap, which I need for the sun. It's the only time I'm running with a cap backwards. But yeah, that will go backwards. And again, I've done all the testing. So yeah, I'm really excited to start the run. It looks to be absolutely fantastic. The weather is beautiful. It will be cold in the morning. It'll be at 14 degrees, 11 to 14 degrees. I'll still be wearing a vest. It's the coldness on the way up that'll be, just have to manage it. And then it'll get warm. It's probably 24 degrees now, and we're at 12:42. I should be well done by between 10 and 11. I don't know how fast I'm going to go. Between 4 and 5 hours. This is a notoriously good Boston qualifier. Thankfully that got done last marathon, so I can take it easy. If I want to stop, I'll stop. I think the big thing I've lost is aerobic fitness, and I just don't know how I'm going to feel after a number of kilometers. You just really don't know and how the back holds up. My prediction is it should be okay, but you never know. So yeah, see you in a day or two for what happened. Thanks for all your support.